Okay, hello guys, and welcome to today's edition of Motivational Minds Radio. This is the program where we get to take a closer look into the minds of the authors who put the words on the page and the books in our hands for our own reading pleasure, and to keep us motivated, keep us inspired, and prepare us for all of the adventures that life throws our way. On today's show, we are speaking with fantastic Frank Johnson, and he is the author of the book From Flawed to Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is just tell you guys a little bit about Frank, and then I'm going to let him speak to you for himself so you can hear some of the amazing story that he has put into this book for us to learn from. So Frank Johnson, fantastic Frank Johnson, was, as a young man, he was a successful chemical engineer and entrepreneur. And one day when he was in the height of enjoying his success, everything changed irreversibly when he was trapped in a fire, bought out in a body bag, and his life just changed forever. As a result of this occurrence, he incurred a traumatic brain injury, and it was necessary for him to retrain himself and relearn everything, including how to walk and how to talk. And now, through his story and through his tribulations, he has triumphed, and he is now motivating and inspiring millions. Every day, fantastic Frank meets his challenges and is fueled with a passion to help others with his engaging, creative manner, which is why we are so excited to have him on the program here with us today. Also, some of Frank's significant accomplishments consist of publishing a comic book, The Young Explorers, and he's also a motivational speaker where he captivates and touches audiences like no other. Frank is an internationally published author and the host of 2 Blog Talk radio shows. And today, he will teach you how to overcome any obstacle through his amazing story. Frank, he remarkably touches so many people's lives in so many ways, and today I am honored to have him here with us so that he can touch and inspire yours. Frank, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Fantastic. How else would you expect me to show up but fantastic?
Beautiful. That is the life that we are all aspiring to live, the fantastic one. So please share with us. You know, I'm really captivated by this subtitle that you have on your book, Trapped in a Fire, Carried Out in a Body Bag, Motivated to Inspire Millions. Can you please tell us some more? Please share with us what this means. What happened?
33 years ago, I owned a bar and a restaurant in addition to being a chemical engineer at Eastman Car Company. And one day, I think it was in January 1st, 3rd, or 4th, or 5th, this was in 1980, so it really was, or 81, I think it was. I was down in the basement of this building, and I said to my business partner, hey, I smell smoke. And what happened just before that was I'd been in the basement, and we were trying to free up a carbonation unit. A carbonation unit supplies carbon dioxide to the soda pop machines. And I hit that with a hammer. The hammer bounced off, hit me on the head, and knocked me unconscious. My business partner left, and he went and he called an ambulance. And then while he was gone, I woke up, I said to Tom, Tom, I smell smoke. And he did too. And that's when the fire started, and he couldn't carry me up these stairs, and so he apparently had left me down there, and he went up the stairs. By the time the fire department got there, they had smoke had filled the basement because smoke is heavier than air, and it fills the basement up, and that's where the fire started. And a fireman had to find me, and I understand because I had to interview the fireman he died, I think it was about a year ago, but that he said he heard he couldn't see anything. There was so much, there wasn't fire, there was so much burning stuff, there was so much smoke that he couldn't even find me the first time he went down there, and he heard me cough or say something or moan or something. Then he carried me up the building, out of the building, in what looked to me like a body bag. And I don't know if I was dead or not. I just take poetic license and say I was carried out in a body bag, because there is a picture of me being carried out in what looks like a body bag. Then, on the way to the hospital, a medic inserted a trach tube, and he did a great job in saving my life. However, he damaged my voice box, which is why I sound funny. And if you did a voice analysis of my box, you would of my tone, of the tones, you would find that the highs and the lows are gone from the print I was doing that. And so that's what happened. That's pretty much what happened.
Wow. Frank, you have lived to share a story that can change so many people's lives, and that is exactly what it is that you do today. So if I just can reiterate, so basically this all started when you said you smelt smoke. You went into the basement, you found the box that was connected to the vending machine kind of smoking. You hit it with a hammer. The hammer came back and hit you in the head, knocked you unconscious, right? And then your
kind
business
of got out of sequence. I was in the basement. I hit the hammer. The hammer hit the carbonation unit, bounced off, and knocked me unconscious. And then I had woken up. I said to Tom, I smell smoke. And Tom went upstairs because we didn't have a phone downstairs. And he said he had called the ambulance, and he had called the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I think I weighed a lot more than I weigh right now. I weigh 168 pounds. I think I weighed closer to 200 or 250 pounds. Tom couldn't lift me up. The fireman who carried me out, he had a hard time carrying me out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And then once you were carried out, you say that you take poetic license in being carried out in a body bag. And, you know, I have to give you credit for using the term poetic license, but it also is reality. I mean, how many times have we all been in that poetic license place of being in a body bag where our lives could be over and out, or, you know, on to the next step because of the amazing support from the people around us that are there to save us and to really bring us to that next level. Now, I've got your book here in front of me, and you've got a chapter here called From Problems to Challenges to Opportunities. Now, what kind of challenges were you faced with after this problem of being in the hospital and having your trachea damaged?
Well, as you had already mentioned, I had incurred a traumatic brain injury. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't read, and I didn't know where I was, and I don't think I woke up until around 2 weeks after I was in the hospital. My first memory was they were taking me out of the hospital where I was in. They were moving me to a rehab hospital. And the reason I remember that, it was a cold day in Rochester. And I remember they took me out in the stretcher in a gurney to the ambulance, and the ambulance shuffled me from, it used to be the Genesee Hospital, which is now closed. They don't call it the Genesee Hospital anymore. But they took me to Strong Hospital, where I did my rehabilitation. And I'm being told that I couldn't walk or talk, I couldn't read or write, and to this day I still can't write, because when you get traumatic brain injury, one of the things that is very often affected is your fine motor skills. And my fine motor skills are still affected to this day. And what that means is that I know that if you say you can't do something, of course you can't. It cuts off all future possibilities. And so I use that word I can't very religiously or I'm looking for a different word, very, very sparingly, and that I've been trying to relearn how to write for over 30 years. And I just haven't got the patience when I could type an answer in my computer better, quicker than I can write.
I love that you use the word patience. And, patience is a skill that we all have to practice when it comes to things that we're not able to do as easily as we used to. And what I want to ask you about is depression. I mean, after this happened, I'm sure, I can say from my own experience in life, I've gone through depressions. I mean, who hasn't? And if you went into a depression, how did you find that patience to give yourself time to recover and really improve the quality and the state of your mind and what you were able to achieve after this experience?
Well, I don't really think I was in a depressed state. I was in a needing state. I needed people to help me overcome that, and people started showing up.
Beautiful.
One thing that happened was in 1990, this was around 10 years after I'd been trapped in this fire, I saw Tony Robbins on TV, on QVC, hawking his Unlimited Lisa Powers in tapes. They weren't even DVDs or CDs like that. They were tapes. And I got those tapes. And because I couldn't write the answers in my handwriting back then was even worse than it is right now, which is still pretty bad. And I cut the book up. I had an old Smith Corona typewriter from college. I typed the answers in, and my life started changing. Even though I had no idea what the heck was happening, I was engaging myself in the law of attraction. And that's what it's all about. And now I talk about that in my book. About the law, I don't talk much about that, but my entire book is written based on the principles of the law of attraction.
Amazing, Frank. And with the law of attraction, I'm a big believer and teacher of that as well. What would you say is maybe your top one or two takeaways from the laws of attraction that you would like our listeners to really, really get to know well?
Well, I've had a few instances that I want to tell you about that will blow your mind.
Please share.
When my book was now let me tell you how this book came about. This is going to require some more pre-framing. And you know what pre-framing is, right?
Yes, sure do. And pre-framing is basically setting the stage for the story that's about to come so that you understand. Yes,
and there is a story behind every story that goes on in my life.
And if we had all the time in the world tonight, Frank, I promise you we would talk about all of it, because I can already tell we've got plenty to really that synchronize and go, about that share the experience that you've had. So please tell us more about these stories that relate to the law of attraction.
Oh, I had drawn to me a coach named Frank Gazarowski, Mr. 90-Day Goals, and he wanted me to write a book. Well, he was a mentor or mentee of another guy named Mike Littman, and I was on Mike Littman's calls. Mike Littman wrote a book called Conversations with Millionaires. The way he wrote that book was he interviewed these millionaires on a TV show it was on a radio show down in Long Island, and he only had 3 or 4 listeners. And the reason he only had these tapes sat in his basement for years until finally his business partner, I can't remember his name, Jason Orman. Jason Orman said to him, hey, we should turn them into a book. So that's what Frank G. wanted me to do. I gave 10 talks at local traumatic brain injury associations. And these 10 talks, the tapes were horrible. And so I was trying to put these together. I couldn't do it. And I'm standing in line in the DMV one day This happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where in front of me stands this very attractive but obviously pregnant woman named Michelle. And I get talking to her. And I asked her, I said, and I love meeting people because you don't know what the heck will happen. And I said, hi. I don't know if I said, I'm fantastic, Frank. She asked me what I did. I said, and now I got to talk to you about my history to find out that she went to college where I went to college, Clarkson College of Technology. It wasn't named that because she's around 30 years younger than I am. And I think she's 25 younger than me. I don't know. But then I said, what was your major? She was a chemical engineer, as was I. And I said to her, hey, no crap. Tell me something else. Tell me that you are following some guru. And she was following a spiritual guru named Adidas. And I follow a motivational guru named Tony Robbins. And then next thing I knew, I asked her to come to my house, and she thought I was trying to get into her pants, is the way I got. However, I was with an ILST, and ILST comes from a traumatic brain injury waiver program, and she was agreeing, shaking her head, and she gave me social proof that I wasn't trying just to get in her pants. And so she came to my house, and she helped me write this book. She worked my butt off. We had to redo every chapter from memory, which was a pain in the butt. But we did that, and that's how this book came about.
Wow, that's amazing. So actually the roles reversed. She got in your pants and worked your butt off so that you could get this book done.
Yes, great, thank you. And she's going to listen to this, she's going to laugh herself to death. But that was, I knew I needed help, and I didn't know where the help was going to come from. I had no idea that her name, I call her Marvelous Michelle right now. That Marvelous Michelle, she still works for me today, and she does so much more than just write my book. But if I couldn't have imagined that this would happen, and I was hoping and praying, even though I wasn't doing this daily, happen, and a person would show up in my life and help me get that done. But that's what happens when you the law of attraction.
Absolutely. It's the most powerful part of the law of attraction is just holding it in your mind and getting more and more clear and making it more and more real. And then all of a sudden, boom, things start showing up and you're wondering, well, how or why? But because you started it. By starting with that thought, things start happening. So I hope that everybody out there can find their Marvelous Michelle and their Frank G that will, be their partners and help them get to where they want to be in this life. And I'd also like to add to that is that, there are people that we sometimes don't even realize that are part of our team because we're so soaked into what we're doing each day. But, last weekend I was at an event and the woman there, she said, next time you go and you lay your head down on your bed, just remember or think about how your bed got there. So we really need to acknowledge the people in our lives that kind of just show up and are part of it, whether they know it or not, and give thanks to them. Now, fantastic, Frank, there's something that you've got here that I really, really love. First of all, I'm going to share these pictures with our listeners of Fantastic Frank in his superhero outfit, okay? Because I take it that you are a superhero, is that right?
I am, but I have no real superhero powers. My superhero power is my ability to connect with people and go and peel the onion layers back whenever I talk to them.
Oh, beautiful. Well, Frank, you have got this hero formula, and I would love if you could share with our listeners a little bit about this hero formula and how people can incorporate that into their own lives so that all of us can become our own special, unique version of a hero.
Well, this will require some more pre-framing if I have the time to do it. Please. I met this guy through a series of another seemingly unrelated events. His name is Clint Arthur. He does a program called Celebrity Launchpad, and he helped me create this. It's a TV segment which gets you booked on TV stations. Now, I haven't used this one yet, but it's almost counterintuitive, and I think when I read it to you how it goes, you're going to understand why it works. And there are 4 things you must never do if you want to be a superhero. It's a
4 things. Please do tell us.
First thing, and it starts off like this. With recent popularity of mega-hit superhero movies like Batman, The Avengers, Fantastic Four, and Captain America, plus the movie Thor, The Dark World, coming to theaters November 8th and 4, and 4 more superhero movies coming out in 2014. Superheroes have never been more in the public eye. Superheroes are hiding in plain sight. Maybe one is even staring at you in the bathroom mirror. Could it be that you are a superhero uniquely capable of rescuing mankind, but you just haven't realized it yet? Okay, these are fantastic things. 4 things you must never do if you want to be a superhero. You must never be absent in life. The first step of a hero is to show up. And that I show a prop called the Batman symbol. That the second thing is he must never be a mere spectator. Heroes take bold action. And here I have a Green Lantern mask. Then the third thing that you must never let a liability hold you back. Transform into an asset. The prop here is my book, From Flawed to Fantastic. The 4th thing that you must never do if you want to be a superhero is never deny your power. Once you are aware of your unique ability, you are obligated to use it. The prop for this thing is a Superman symbol. Then I have Frank's hero formula. Harness your H is the first letter of hero. Harness your unique power, such as a unique experience to inspire others as I do. E stands for engage fully. Once you show up, you have to take action. Superman never let Lois Lane plummet to the ground. R is reshape a tragic event into a superpower. Spider-Man's tragic event was being bit by a radioactive spider. Mine was being trapped in a fire. Then the O stands for offer your service to the benefit of all mankind. Being of service is the superhero trait of the highest order.
Wow, Frank, that is incredible. And I'm going to take those. I actually want to write these down, put it on my mirror, and start to harness my own superhero powers. And if I may I have your permission to call you out a little bit?
Yes, you can call me out. What do you mean call me out? What's that mean?
Well, what does that mean? Sorry, I'm going back to my we could call it gangsta. I'll call you out, meaning I asked you if you had superhero powers, and you said that you did not, but you do have traits or something of that nature. And number 4 said, never deny your power. Never deny your superhero power. And Frank, you are a superhero because your unique power is to share your experience, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, and to inspire others, to let them know that they can get through anything, they can conquer anything, and that there is always a way when you put your mind to it. So don't ever deny your superhero powers.
That is what you did. You called me out. I know what you meant now. I wasn't sure. No one has ever used it before.
Yes. Well, maybe you can use that now. Let me call you out. Go to people and be like, let me call you out. So, guys, this has been fantastic, Frank Johnson. His book is From Flawed to Fantastic. He was trapped in a fire. He was carried out in a body bag, and he has been brought here to motivate and inspire millions, which he does on a daily basis. You can get Frank's book on Amazon. You can also get his book at Barnes & Nobles. And you can also go to his website, www.fantasticfrankjohnson.com, and you will also be able to get Frank's 7 motivational secrets to excel every day despite what you have been dealt. So go there, check him out, get to know him. He's an amazing, amazing gentleman, and we are so honored and blessed to have you on our program today. Frank, thank you, and I look forward to having you back again.
Thank you, Jeselle. It was a pleasure. Anytime you want to call me up, I'd love to do this again.
Beautiful. We'd love to have you. Guys, this has been Motivational Minds Radio, and we are so glad to bring the motivation into your life so that you can keep being, doing, and having all of the things in this life that you desire. Take care.
Whee!